Joining us for Don't Stop Believin' 4 Journeys to Engage Supporters Faithfully. This is a presentation that we plan on giving at NTC 2020 in Baltimore, but obviously that's not happening, so we're thrilled that we get to do it still over this webinar, and we'll hopefully see your happy faces next year at N10. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be talking about marketing automations today, 4 in particular, so we'll be covering those, but first, just to introduce myself, my name is Brandon Fuller, and I am the owner and chief strategist of Raise the Roots. We're a full-service digital agency that serves nonprofits. Basically, any platform you use, whether it's Engaging Networks, Every Action, Illuminate Online, MailChimp, or any of these other online engagement tools, we are happy to help you with. We do strategic consulting, copywriting, production, online ads, list acquisition, data management, vendor evaluation, we do migrations, we also do trainings. So anything you're looking to do, I'm guessing we could help you with. But if you want to learn more about us, you can go to weraisetheroots.com, and we'd love to also learn more about you. Just getting started, we're going to talk about automations, in particular successful automations that Humane Society International and Raise the Roots have built together. We're going to look at these 4 categories of automations, so welcome series, re-engagement series, monthly donor management, and birthday automation. So for people who make a birthday pledge and how we engage with them. We're going to talk about the goals for each automation, the metrics for how well they've performed and kind of how we measure that success, and look at examples from HSI's actual automations. So let's get started by looking at welcome series. And there are 3 types of welcome series that we're going to talk about. There's the general welcome series for people who are new to your list. Maybe they've taken an advocacy action, or they've signed a registration form, or maybe they've come into your file from a list acquisition campaign. Then there are new donors. So these are people who are new to the file because they made a donation for the first time. And then we have new recurring donors. These people could be new to the file, or they could be on the file for many years, but they've just become a recurring donor. And one thing I like to tell people when they're thinking about welcome series is that, sometimes as organizations, we think of a welcome series and each email in that series, and we think of it as this journey that we're taking people on, that they're going to get the first email, and that will sort of lead into the second email. The reality is that if you look at the overlap of people who opened emails 1, 2, 3, 4, that very infrequently do you have people opening more than one message, and for the most part, they'll just open one message in that series. And so when you're thinking about content and strategy and what you want to put in these emails, be thinking about the fact that these emails need to stand on their own. That if this is the first email these people are receiving from you, that it properly introduces the organization and achieves whatever goal that you're seeking to achieve. Welcome series can be long or short. In this sense, I'm talking about these general welcome series. So they can be a short series with just a few emails. If you send a lot of messages in your regular email stream, a short welcome series might be a better fit for you. Or they can be long. In some cases, a 6-month-long welcome series for organizations that either send fewer emails or perhaps there's certain emails they want to make sure every supporter receives, and they don't want to have to worry about doing that, sending those manually. Or if you want to kind of think of your supporter engagement as like a cradle to grave experience where somebody signs up, they start getting this 6-month-long welcome series as well as your regular email stream. And after those 6 months, maybe you take a look and see who didn't open a single email. Maybe we send them one final re-engagement series, and then if they still don't open, we exit them from our list. So you could sort of build in this nice routine process for list hygiene using these 6-month-long automations. So let's first look at general welcome series. So we have the general welcome series for HSI so far has gone to 601,000 people. It's been live since August of 2018. The open rate has averaged around 17%, which is really strong, with an average click rate of 13%, and they've collected around $7,300 in donations during that time. So here you can see the goals of this particular welcome series. It's to sort of lay out the scope of work that this organization does. So maybe this person came onto your file and it's the first time that they're really getting to know your full organization. Maybe it was a crisis they responded to or a particular advocacy campaign that they responded to. So we want to make sure they know that we do a lot of different work. We want them to become familiar with our senders. So if we send from sometimes maybe the development officers or from the CEO, we want them to see all these different senders. And we also try to work them into becoming a donor. So we want to convert people to donors. So that's always the goal of these kinds of series. Let's offer many opportunities for them to make their first gift so we can convert them to donors. So email 1 of this general welcome series is an email with a link to a donation page that features a video that kind of summarizes the work of Humane Society International. It's this really cute video. It's got lots of adorable animals, and it talks about some of the rescues they've done, and it shows a little bit of like a start and finish for dogs that have been rescued from dog meat farms. So it's a really heartwarming video, and the idea is that it's getting people excited about this organization and showing them all the work they do and some of the outcomes of that work. But it's on a donation page so that once people have watched this video and they're so excited, they can go ahead and make a donation right away. Email number 2 in the series is an advocacy action. This is one of their most popular advocacy actions. It's about trophy hunting, which I think is universally an issue that people support ending trophy hunting. And so this is really an effective advocacy action, but it does lead to a donation page after you've signed the petition. And then finally, they just make a direct fundraising appeal. So this is just a opportunity for people to donate. It does stand alone on its own here. So if this is the only email you opened, it walks you through this full issue and all this particular work that HSI does, and tries to encourage you to become a donor. The last email in this series is a birthday pledge email. So I'm going to talk about the birthday pledge a little bit later, but HSI has been really smart about spreading the birthday pledge across their website and all of their automations on social media as a way of recruiting as many signatories as possible. And so far, it's really worked out for them. And like I said, I'll go over those numbers later. I did want to talk a little bit about this idea of a 6-month welcome series. So HSI sends a lot of emails, so they didn't need a long welcome series. And most of what they send is very much based on issues that are happening right then, advocacy actions, and fundraising appeals. So they don't really have a lot of these like other emails that maybe some other organizations send. And here's some example of those, like asking people to sign up for Amazon Smiles, signing up for their SMS campaigns, signing up as a YouTube subscriber, employer matching, birthday pledge, credit card sign up, e-commerce discounts, these kinds of emails that perhaps you would normally send or you try to send when you can remember to. Well, if you just put them in this long welcome series, you know that people are going to get the full scope of all the emails you want them to receive. And it's just nice because it's already done. You can set it and forget it. So next, let's talk about the new donor welcome series. So like I said, this is for people who are new to your file, but they became new to your file via a donation that they've made. So far, we've had about 51,000 people over the last 18 months or so go through this welcome series. We've had an open rate of 23%, a click rate of 9%, and we've received about $955 in monthly gifts, meaning that 955 monthly pledges. So it's doing really well. And the goal of a new donor welcome series at its heart is to convert these one-time donors into monthly donors. But we acknowledge the donation they've made. We talk about the impact that their gift will make in the organization and for the animals that we're supporting. Again, we want to make them familiar with our senders, and we want to convert them to monthly donors. I don't have to show you the emails for this automation because they are identical to the emails that people receive in our general welcome series. The difference is that the video that you watch is on a monthly donor page. The action that you take directs you to a monthly donor donation page. And the direct appeal that you receive also asks you to become a monthly donor. So we're very tied into this goal of taking these one-time donors. They're excited about supporting the organization. They just got onto the file, and this is something that they're showing a lot of enthusiasm for. So let's see if we can convert them now while we have the opportunity. Next, we'll talk about the monthly donor welcome series. Like I said, this is for people who have recently become a new monthly donor. They weren't giving monthly previously, but they could have been on the file for a long time. We've had 15,000 people enter this series with a very high open rate. These are the most engaged supporters at 36% and a 32% click-through rate. One of the things that we do with these folks is, and we'll go over this in a second, is we send them a survey. We've had almost 2,000 survey responses, so that's great. I mean, it's above 10% of people who are getting that email are sharing more information with us. So the goals are to welcome these people to this exclusive group of supporters, outline the benefits that they receive as being a monthly donor, and also the benefits that the organization receives from their monthly gift. And then we try to get to know them a little bit and try to personalize this relationship. We want to learn about their experience making a monthly gift to make sure that if there's any flaws in the process, that we can identify those and squash them. So as part of this survey we send them, we do ask, did you experience any trouble in making your gift? So we can skip email 1 because it's just sort of a nice welcome to the monthly giving program. But email 2 is the survey. And so I'll show you this short survey. It emphasizes the positive experience of being a monthly donor. We asked a little bit more about the donor to get to know them better. People love talking about themselves. And then we identify whether or not they had any problems while making their gift. So this is the survey, and you can see one of the questions that we have on here is, how did becoming a monthly donor make you feel? This is actually based on some psychology that says that when people have to confirm an emotion that they feel while doing something, and if you sort of emphasize the positive experience that they had, that actually builds in loyalty. So here we're giving people the option to say all the great things that they experienced while becoming a monthly donor and how that makes them feel. We've also asked people if they have any pets. It's just sort of a way of getting to know them better. If they say yes, we can ask on here, a little question pops up, what kind of pet? And then, like I said, we do ask them if they had any trouble with their monthly gift, so that we can find those kind of issues and take care of them. We, of course, also ask them when their birthday is, because we want them to sign up for our birthday pledge series. So those are welcome series. Next, we're going to talk about recurring donor management. So in the recurring donor management world, I think of these automations as, number 1, trying to convert one-time donors who are frequently making one-time gifts, so 2 or more gifts in the last 60 to 90 days, trying to convert them to monthly donors. And then for the monthly donors that we have, trying to make sure that they don't stop becoming a monthly donor because their credit card has expired or something else has caused their monthly gift to become suspended. And automations are perfect for these types of things. So first, we're going to talk about this recurring donor upgrade. These are those people I was talking about who've made 2 or more gifts in the last 60 to 90 days. And we've sent this particular automation to about 18,000 people. It's had an open rate of 41%, a click rate of 6%, and they've made $991 worth of monthly donation pledges. So it is working. It is converting these people. It's not at a high rate, but we'll go over why this is an important strategy and it doesn't scare off these donors. So we try to explain the benefits of monthly donations. It's possible that people are basically making monthly gifts and not even realizing that there's an option to make a monthly donation, or also they may not be aware that there are benefits to making a monthly donation. So it's an opportunity for us to say, here are the exclusive benefits that you'll receive. You'll be invited to events. You will be helping us reduce our administrative costs, so more of your donation goes to the work that we do. We also want to hit these donors while they're enthusiastic. I mean, clearly you're making 2 or more gifts in a short span of time. Your heart is really with the organization at this moment, so let's see if we can convert you to a recurring donor. And then we do try to avoid pestering them. So if these people are making frequent gifts, we don't want to scare them off. We don't want them to stop doing that. So we only have 1 email in this series that tries to convert them so that they're not thinking, great, I've made this donation, I'm making frequent donations, and now they're just going to harass me. So it's just 1 email that asks. And this is it. It really tries to outline the fact that we have special events that they get invited to. Their automatic gifts provide more funds to help the animals that are affected by disasters and some of these other campaigns that we work on. We try to make it as emotionally pleasing as possible for people. And once you hit this threshold of making multiple gifts within a short period of time, you will get this email. You'll only get it once. You can't get this automation more than once. So let's talk about monthly donors. Maybe these people who have converted, they become a monthly donor, but now their credit card is about to expire, or their gift has become suspended because their credit card already expired. So we've had about 6,000 people who have kind of fit that description. We've had a 30% open rate on these emails and a 36% click-through rate. And we've recaptured 857 of these gifts online. It's possible that they've fixed these issues with their credit card by calling or by emailing us, but we know that digitally 857 have been recaptured, which is, above 10%, almost 15% of those who have completely gone away. Their gifts have expired. That's great, because before we had this automation, we weren't even seeing renewal rates at the rate of 3%. So already it's paying for itself. So we want to notify the donor that their gift is expiring or has become suspended. We want to provide these easy options for how they can update their information, and I'll show you what those are. And as the automation goes on, we're trying to increase the urgency and really hammer home the reason why they should become a recurring donor. Because if they don't renew right off the bat after getting one of these emails, it's almost like you have to make that pitch again for the first time to make sure they understand why they shouldn't leave. So let's look at the emails here. So this is email number 1, and it's pretty simple and short. It gets right to the point. It just says that this is the thing that's happened and we can't afford to lose you. Here are your options for fixing your payment options. So you can do it online, you can email us, or you can call us. So it's pretty simple. It doesn't make a strong emotional case. We're assuming at this point that this person wants to fix it. They just need to know how. But for emails 2 and 3 on both of these series, I kind of have merged them together, whether it's for the expiring or suspended, because at its heart, we're making basically taking the same approach. But for the follow-up emails, we're starting to add more content. We're starting to make a more emotional case. We're including words like urgent in the subject line. And by the third email, we're literally saying, here's why you should be a monthly donor, because we're assuming that we have to make this pitch again. So those are kind of how we manage our recurring donors, how we try to get new ones, and then once we have them, how we avoid losing them. But let's talk about the supporter re-engagement automation. So supporter re-engagement is to try to get people who are beginning to disengage from us, they're not opening our emails, they're not converting on our pages, to get them interested again, to try to get them back on board. In engaging networks, which is what Humane Society International uses, there's an engagement scoring system where people are assigned a score based on their email history. Your tools likely have something similar, most of these tools do, but for Humane Society International, we use the scores that look at people who are beginning to become disengaged. So it's been 4 to 6 months since they have opened an email, clicked an email, or converted, and that's the point at which we want to jump in and try to grab them. Rather than waiting until it's so late that it's been a year, they haven't done anything in over a year, it's very likely they're gone. And so by kind of jumping in at the beginnings of that erosion in our relationship, we can hope to get them back. And we always exclude recurring donors from this system, so we don't want to, if somebody's making a recurring gift, let's just let a sleeping dog lie. So for supporter re-engagement, we've sent about 1.6 million of these journeys out to people. They do have a high open rate. So these are people who, like I said, are beginning to disengage from us. And yet they're still opening the emails and still clicking. Part of the reason for that is that we are sending them surveys. And the survey is designed to ask them about themselves and give people an opportunity to do something that's highly engaging. Surveys work in terms of getting people to respond and re-engage with you. We've had 61,000 survey responses since we launched this. It's been very successful. Now, the way that this works is that not only do we send people an email with a survey, but then based on the response to that survey, they receive follow-up action alerts that are tied directly to the responses on the survey. And I'll show you how that works in a minute. The survey is great because not only does it give us an opportunity to ask our supporters and questions, learn more about them, give them an opportunity to talk about themselves. But it also gives us an opportunity to show them the full scope of our work. We actually have a question that says, of these campaigns, which is most important to you? And that may be one of the first times that a supporter has actually seen all of the work that this organization does. So let's take a look at this automation now. You can see that at the top we have the first email and then a reminder message if they haven't submitted the survey. And then if they did submit the survey, based on their survey response to the question, which issue is most important to you, they actually get an action alert email after that. So after a few days, they'll get an email that's about farm animal welfare or animal testing or street dog welfare. These are all action alerts that are live. Some of them are evergreen. But it gives us an opportunity to say, you showed an interest in this particular campaign. Let's just talk about how we are currently active on that issue. So this is email one. One of the things we did with these emails is we embedded the first question in the email itself so that we start building this momentum right off the bat. So we have a question that says, which best describes you? Animal advocate, HSI supporter, or animal lover? What's interesting is that we've actually used the responses to this question to change the way that we talk to people in the emails that we send them. We found that a lot of people like referring to themselves as being an animal advocate, and so we try to use that phrase in our emails going forward. So these surveys have been useful in collecting information for our own internal purposes as well. But this is email one, and then it leads them to this survey. And in addition to a lot of different questions like what kind of email updates do you like to receive? Do you have any pets? Do you use these social media platforms? And I believe we also ask, are there other similar organizations that you support? Which is all helpful information for us in terms of Facebook targeting, Twitter targeting, all kinds of stuff. We also ask them which HSI campaigns would you like to hear about most frequently. People are forced to choose just one of these, and then based on their response, that's how they receive those action alert follow-up emails. So here's an example of a follow-up email. This is for people who chose dogfighting as their top issue. They'd receive this action alert. Then if you have completed the survey and you completed the action alert, then you will receive a fundraising appeal as well. So our kind of vision here is that you now have become completely re-engaged, you're excited again, and you want to support the organization again. So the next thing we're going to talk about is this birthday pledge. The idea of a birthday pledge is that people fill out a form where they pledge that on their birthday they're going to host a peer-to-peer fundraising campaign, somewhere like Facebook or on your own platform, where to celebrate them for their birthday, their friends can donate to their favorite cause. And so they can pledge their birthday to the Humane Society International. They share their birthday with us. Then we have an automation that's triggered based on their birthday. And a week before their birthday arrives, we send them their first email. And then there's a second email they receive on their birthday. And because they've pledged to host this peer-to-peer campaign, the emails we send them are designed to thank them for doing that and give them instructions for how they can get started. They've seen almost 10,000 birthday pledges on these pages. It's sensational. These are people who are willing to go out and raise money on HSI's behalf from their friends and family. It's been very successful. We've seen so far of those people, 8,400 of them have actually gone through the automation. We've seen open rates of over 40%, and we are seeing an increase in overall Facebook fundraising as a result. The goals are just to remind people that they pledged their birthday. We're going to provide some instructions. I'll show you kind of what that looks like. And we want to convert that pledge to an actual campaign in Facebook. So this is the sign-up page where you can pledge your birthday. You'd enter your information and your birthday there. Then after doing so, as your birthday arrives, you'll receive email 1. It thanks people for pledging their birthday, and it gives them opportunities to go ahead and get started. We do have on here that you can just get started on your own. If you're comfortable with Facebook, Facebook's actually made this process a lot easier. They now have a link that takes people directly to your page and your birthday or to your campaign setup area, so that it's like a flawless system. Most people will feel comfortable going through that process, but just to make sure that for supporters who are maybe a little bit nervous about doing this on their own, we also provide an instructions page. And this is what it looks like. It provides a link directly to HSI's fundraising area on Facebook and instructs people on how to create their goal, choose an end date, and select a photo from the list, and then how to promote it to their friends and family. Email number 2 in this series is just a happy birthday message. We're going to send this on their birthday. We're excited to celebrate with them. We try not to push the birthday pledge thing. We have it there at the bottom in a PS just to say it's not too late if you still want to do this. And we send them to the instructions page. But we just try to, make this truly a celebratory email for folks. So that's the full presentation. I really appreciate you listening and attending. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me, Brandon at WeRaiseTheRoots.com, or on Twitter at RaiseTheRoots. And you can also go to our website at WeRaiseTheRoots.com. Thank you again, and I hope you have a great day.